Hi guys and welcome back to Scribe Gaming. I'm your man Scribe and I hope you are ready for round 2 of the requirements for GL Jabba. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so last night, Tusken Meathead went to the forums and he did post the second set of requirements for GL Jabba the Hutt, which I imagine is going to be coming to us in just a couple of months now. So, obviously, we did have the recent marquee announcement kit reveal of Skiffy Lando, and I will reserve my thoughts for that for later on in the video, and he is naturally going to be a requirement. We already knew that this new Lando is going to be a requirement due to the Crumb interview that was on Friday, I want to say. Now, in addition to a Relic 5 Lando, we do have quite a generous requirement here in a Relic 7 Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Now, this was a pretty prototypical requirement, I would say, of GL Jabba. We do know that, you know, the assault to go and save Han on Jabba's skiff does involve Jedi Knight Luke, so it kind of stands to reason that he was going to be a requirement. And as far as I'm concerned, perfectly valid and good requirement. Everybody wants to have Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker at least Relic 7. He is still a fantastic Jedi with a lot of viability and does have a pretty powerful Datacron at the moment. Now, the other requirements, well, the next two requirements I'd say are perhaps a little bit on the iffy side. We do have the standard Jawa at Relic 3. Now, Jawas are not a completely useless faction, but I would say that their applicability and their viability is really only at the very late game when you have nothing better to gear, in my opinion. They can take out some pretty decent teams. They have some use, but let's face it, guys, nobody wants to Relic 3 a standard Jawa. Now, is a Tusken. One of 3 Tuskens, and normally I would be incredibly disheartened to see a Relic 4 requirement for a Tusken, but if any of you have gone down the Lord Vader route and already have Tusken Raider at Relic 5, pair that with the Omicron that is useful in 3v3s, it's not terrible. That means you only really have to gear up one more Tusken to a relatively decent gear level in order to make use out of that 3v3 team, so overall, not terrible. And the last requirement is C-3PO at Relic 7. Again, I'm not upset by a Relic 7 C-3PO. It's already a requirement for another GL. I forget which one off the top of my head. I knew this the whole time, guys. He's a Relic 5 requirement for JML. So adding an extra 2 Relic levels to this particular character, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Obviously, you don't really get anything from a Relic 7 C-3PO that you wouldn't necessarily already have at a Relic 5 C-3PO. He just gets a little bit of additional tankiness to him, and ultimately a C-3PO is a character that most people don't attack anyway, because he's often stealthed or there's, you know, other things to worry about. He's almost a low priority target usually in a battle that you're fighting him with. Those extra Relic levels are not exactly ideal. But anyway, guys, I digress. A Relic 7 C-3PO really isn't all that bad in the grand scheme of things if you already have JML. So this almost feels like this is a more of a late game player farm, or at least players that have already got JML and already have Lord Vader are going to have an easier time so far with the Jabba the Hutt requirements. Now, you can see the first set there, Kassantan, so that's already a marquee character at Relic 5. Han Solo at Relic 8 is, again, not terrible. Han Solo is a fantastic character, and I got no problems with him being Relic 7 in my team already. The CLS Rebel Squad is actually very, very powerful, so having a high Relic Han Solo is not a bad idea. Gamma Guard at Relic 3 is obviously hot garbage, but, and I say this with a pinch of salt, I would not be surprised if we did have a rework for Gamorrean Guard. Outrider at 7 stars is absolutely fine if you think about the fact that the Profundity is supposedly, apparently, definitely, for sure, maybe coming. And Greedo at Relic 6 is obviously not ideal, but the Bounty Hunter faction as a whole is actually very good, so I'm not terribly upset by this. The only thing we've got to think about now is what could possibly come next. Now, we have just had the Skiffy Lando Calrissian join the game. That is this beautiful individual here. Now, my personal thoughts on this, I think this is really sort of stretching the belief just a little bit. I know they were probably thinking, What characters can we introduce as Hut Caltel characters that are perhaps iconic for that time period that we can passively introduce as part of his team? Personally, I would not call someone who's going undercover to try and eventually and ultimately kill Jabba the Hutt really belongs in his faction. Now, this kit obviously has been designed to work with both GL Jabba as well as a scoundrel and a standalone unit, but they have also confirmed that he is designed to work in the meta Jabba team. That confuses me just a little bit. Does this point towards who is going to be next as far as marquees are concerned? We know we've got one more marquee. There is an argument that could be made for Bouchleia. There's also an argument that could be made for Bib Fortuna, whose icon we can actually just see here. Now, personally, I think it could go either way. I think there's arguments that could be made for both. And I don't really mind which. Obviously, if we do get Bouchleia, I guess I'd have the same concerns that I do with Skiffguard Lando, in that thematically it doesn't really make sense for them to work for GL Jabba. Bib Fortuna makes a heck of a lot more sense, so I would place more money in that basket than anywhere else. But I want to know what you guys think. Please do let me know in the comment section down below. Who do you think is coming next as far as marquee is concerned for GL Jabba? What are your expectations as far as requirements are concerned? And yeah. That's not actually all, guys, because we have had confirmation from Crumb that we are actually getting the next phase of the State of the Galaxy, supposedly coming soon. And not only that, there is going to be another Crumb puzzle coming. Now, usually Crumb puzzles are announcements for characters. We've had them in the past for the likes of Starkiller. We've had them in the past for the likes of Dash Rendar. We've had them in the past for Malak. And usually they're quite heavily involving and actually quite exciting. He does a very good job of building out these puzzles, so that should be pretty exciting. I imagine, again, it's probably going to be for the next marquee character that we see for GL Jabba, but it could just as easily be perhaps the kit reveal and announcement for the Profundity. We know it's coming soon. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on the next set of requirements? What are your thoughts on the current set of Jabba GL requirements? And are you farming him, or are you saying, forget that, I'm going straight for Profundity like all common people would do? People with common sense, anyway. But until the next video, guys, peace out.
Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.